Hello, everybody. Thank you, Brad, for the introduction. Um, my name is Brandon Madueno, Business Development Manager and Salesforce Consultant at Bitwise Tech Consulting. Today's topic is how to take control of your Salesforce org instead of it feeling like it's taken a hold of you and your business. I've been working with Salesforce technology for the last 7 years, multiple companies, and also had the opportunity to work at Salesforce, where the opportunity to see, firsthand how the inventors of their technology use the platform to leverage their business. So let's jump into the agenda today. Before kind of diving in here, really wanted to talk about the goals that every business has in mind when looking at partnering with Salesforce for the first time. So we'll review a few of those. I'll kind of talk about, some of the main obstacles that I have seen in my experience as it relates to, Salesforce and the ability to extract the value of, getting to those goals of helping grow business. We'll talk about some key features to take into consideration to help overcome some of those obstacles. And then we'll also jump into some resources to help you overcome obstacles after this presentation, so you have all the resources at your hands and fingertips to be able to address. And then lastly, we'll go over through a few more case studies and examples, and then go through Q&A. So please, put your questions in the chat. We'll give you some time to answer some of them, but, please feel free to ask the questions as I'm going along, and we'll go ahead and address those, at the end of the presentation. All right, so let's start from the beginning and discuss some of the reasons why, businesses invest in Salesforce to begin with. We listed a couple here, but truly, technology is an investment, and with any investment, companies are looking to, help control risks within their organization, improve, client experiences, right? Connecting those experiences with their employees so they have a connected experience, and utilizing a platform like Salesforce to help scale their operations and business as a whole. But really, when it comes down to with any technology investment, and Salesforce included, is how is this technology going to either increase my ability to help me grow my revenue or help me become more profitable. And so we're going to review a few of those metrics, and maybe some of the goals that you set early on when partnering for Salesforce the first time, and just thought it would be good to review those together again. So as we talk about what you're looking to achieve, and then again some of the obstacles that you may be facing to get there, and then how we're going to overcome them. The first ones I want to address are some of the top 4 revenue success metrics that Salesforce provides. These figures represents averages that clients of Salesforce have been able to achieve by leveraging that platform. Increase in win rates on acquiring new clients, increase on lead conversion from prospects to clients, and sales productivity. Sales productivity is probably a really big one that I want to focus on. There's a very common statistic in the sales world that sales teams spend more than half of their time on administrative tasks versus revenue generating activities like starting conversations with new clients or helping grow existing relationships. And Salesforce is that platform that can really help them be more efficient, and help reach more customers and grow the business as they see fit. The last one is forecasting revenue. This is a very important one, not only for the sustainability of the business, but also investors, right? How can we track how well we're doing at any given point in time, and how can we forecast when we are going to be at our goal, and how do we get to our year-end number? Again, these are some of the different metrics that Salesforce provides in terms of what you're looking to achieve. The next ones that we'll review are profitability metrics. And these are, again, some of the top 5 profitability metrics that Salesforce provides to kind of help you drive your bottom line. And usually increasing the bottom line is primarily driven by operational efficiencies, and some of what these other metrics support. So we'll talk about, a decrease in support costs, right? So improving the ability to triage customer concerns, complaints, or issues in a very efficient way. So companies aren't spending a bunch of money on supporting that. Increasing customer retention is a really big one as well, right? It's not only important to bring in new clients, but it's almost more important to keep your existing customers happy, so you have that continuous revenue flowing in. This also affects, the next one here, which is customer satisfaction, right? We want to make sure that, your customers are satisfied and continue to stay and value your resources and brand. The next is case resolution. Are my employees helping resolve our clients' issues quickly, efficiently, resolving them at all. And the last one is, in that same vein, increasing agent productivity. So the folks that are, receiving, interacting with customers, receiving those requests, kind of fulfilling those requests, and making sure that they're able to successfully do that and spend, the appropriate amount of time getting in front of your current customers to get their issues and concerns resolved. Before moving on, I just want to challenge everyone to just, maybe think about some of these metrics, and, maybe which ones are really the most important for you and your organization. It may have changed from when you first acquired Salesforce to begin with. But again, technology is meant to either help you get to your revenue goal and targets, or help you become more profitable by becoming more efficient and boosting productivity across the business. So again, just wanted to have some time to reflect here. And again, these could change, pre acquiring Salesforce for the first time. And if you're a client now for the last 5 to 6 years, or even 10 years, right, some of these priorities may have changed. All right, so now we're going to talk about, some of the two main obstacles that I've seen in my time here at Bitwise, as well as what has been consistent across my time, working at Salesforce and working with Salesforce customers. The main two here are adoption and visibility. And as it relates to these two is your team using Salesforce in order for you to gain the right visibility in your business? More specifically, do you know who your prospects are? Do you know who your clients are? Do you know where the majority of your revenue is coming from? Do you know what your profitability metrics are, right? These are some of the most common things that I hear in terms of, working with Salesforce clients, is that, we've built this system. It's really great. We love it, but, not enough of our employees are leveraging it. There's data missing. We can't, see what's happening in our business day to day. We don't have, the reporting capabilities that we thought we had, and we just don't really know what to start, and we've lost our momentum. Salesforce is a very powerful platform and tool, but most importantly, it's a very powerful database. And within a database, your database, the data within your database needs to be clean. And then once it's clean, then you have to be able to find, okay, how do I access this information? How do I know what clients are driving the most revenue? How do I know what clients are, asking the most questions in terms of support tickets and looking for the most help? And a few of these, I wanted to share a few statistics about data quality. And there's one that says that, inaccurate and incomplete data can really lead to, a stalled productivity rate of around 20%, which, if you're looking at a 5-day business week, can really equate to, 1 day a week where, you're losing productivity in reaching out to your customers, reaching out to new clients, and again, trying to help grow your revenue. The other one is, on average, a company loses 12% of its revenue as a result of inaccurate data. So again, kind of a chain effect there as it relates to data quality and adoption. So what we'll be doing today primarily is covering in and diving into some key features in Salesforce that could help you and your team overcome some of these obstacles, and get you back on track to achieving your goals, whether again it's growing revenue or helping become more profitable. The first one I want to talk about is really one of my favorites, and really what personally for me, what helped me see the power of Salesforce. And it's a feature called Einstein Activity Capture, or AAC for short. And what it is the ability to integrate your inbox, whether it's Outlook or Gmail Suite. And it's a free offering and allows you to integrate those to your Salesforce records. And it really helps organize your email inbox. And let's be honest, all of our inboxes are a mess, and at times, and really many times, uncontrollable. And this feature is really my favorite because it helped coincides, Salesforce's platform and your inbox. So you're able to work in both environments and help you organize your client interactions. When you're viewing Salesforce and we're looking at accounts and contacts and opportunities, you can see the email trails of your correspondence to the clients, or your team's correspondence to the clients, which is a very valuable tool. And all the contacts that are, maybe in your Gmail or Outlook or in your inbox that are not already in Salesforce, you can easily add those into Salesforce as well. So there's no more excuses from employees saying, yeah, I just need to go ahead and add these folks into Salesforce, but I'm emailing and corresponding with them. With Einstein Activity Capture and the free integration tools that Salesforce has to get your inbox integrated, whether it's Outlook or Gmail, you can just add contacts from your inbox without needing to sign into Salesforce and add them to your account records, to your opportunity records, and log the right emails. So it's a very powerful tool. It creates transparency across the teams. I think one of my favorite examples is it helps executives and all employees just see when they get an email or a request from client, who it is, what account it's associated with, and it's all through the integration with Salesforce in your inbox. So it's, again, merging those together so you can work more efficiently, both in your inbox or in Salesforce specifically. One of the examples I wanted to view is, a day in the life of an executive. Very few executives are heavily involved into the day-to-day operations of each business unit. But when issues arise, they're some of the first to know about it because a customer, prospect, or even investor will reach out to them directly, letting them know their concerns. And not knowing who they are or what they are at that point, with the Salesforce integration, they can see, as that email comes in, who Bob is associated with. Is Bob associated with this account? What opportunities are there? What revenue may be assigned to that? Who's the account team that's working on it? So it's a powerful tool to be able to connect the dots and help people stay more organized with their inbox, and really organizes it, at an account level, at a contact level, and at an opportunity level. So, there's full transparency across the teams about, what interactions are helping. And again, because inboxes are, very overwhelming, like my box is overwhelming as I'm sitting here, wasn't getting, spam emails, prospecting emails, and client emails. And Salesforce and this integration is a great tool to remind me of, which emails are relevant to my current customers, to my current prospects, and what my next follow-up should be. So this is really one of the ones that I see when working with clients. If this is, configured correctly and turned on the right way, it really, shows the power of the platform as it relates to Salesforce and helping it, work for you and you not working for it. The next one I want to talk about is page layouts. Page layouts is a huge driver of adoption, a huge driver of data quality as well. And your data and how the data of your customers is presented is very important, because it requires some type of data input from yourself or from your employees in multiple levels. And the way it's viewed from a UI perspective is very important. And what pieces and what fields of information do I want to capture and are important for reporting purposes? So reviewing the way your page layouts are set up are very important, especially as it relates to, your reporting and visibility needs. As you reflect on reporting, you can see which fields, are most important to you. Are you capturing whether they're a client or a prospect to start? Do you have industry information? So when a client asks you, hey, how many people are you working with in my industry today? You can, search that on the fly. Whatever information that you're missing from the reporting aspect because of poor data quality is an opportunity for you to maybe relook at some of your page layouts and, maybe provide those top fields or records that you need updated. So as your reps or your customer service folks are in there updating records, filing tickets, they're able to put the appropriate information that needs to be captured in order for it to be actionable as you're looking at visibility and reporting purposes. Again, improving the visual flow and organization of your data can really help drive adoption and true, the essence of cleaning up your data and the accuracy of its data quality. It could also be customized for each user, which is very great as well. So if you have different users, different use cases, different departments, some levels of information may be more important, for a salesperson versus a customer service person. So you have the ability to customize it for each individual user. I wanted to give an example. Here at Bitwise, we are Salesforce users as well. We also, run into these same issues of adoption and visibility. And one of the things that we recently done was, we're looking at our sales activity like anyone else is. And when we were looking at the page layout for logging sales activity, we saw that the key field that we needed was determining whether it was a call, a meeting, a voicemail, and that field happened to be at the very bottom of the page. And we found that it was everything else was being entered correctly, and whatever default value was there at the time, because of the sales executive's busy day, they weren't really reviewing it and going all the way to the bottom to change it. And so what we did was made just a slight adjustment and put that at the very top, made it a required field, and that's the first data input that they needed to do. And from that perspective, it really helped our reporting tremendously in making sure that we were tracking the activity appropriately by category based on what was being done. Also had a similar example with opportunities. We were looking at what fields in our opportunities are most important. And for us, it was understanding the lead source, understanding whether it was a new or existing business, understanding who was the primary contact, and what the next steps were. So we added those to the page layout originally, but again, they were kind of all throughout the page of the opportunity, and we saw gaps in our reporting where we needed that to be at the top. And so we just rearranged the information, made the appropriate fields, required fields to help with the reporting, and just again, improve the data entry and make it more efficient for your team to know which fields are most important and how they flow over to visibility and reporting as well. Another one to help with adoption and visibility are list views. List views are very similar to reporting. However, list views are even more powerful because users don't need admins to help create a list of their data. They can choose which fields they want to see. They can choose how they're filtering it, and they can do it on the fly. And it doesn't require admin access or reporting access to be able to do it. Every individual can create their own list views and customize it for each object, whether that's an account list, a contact list, an opportunity list. It's a very powerful tool that you can enable your team to use on their own. So instead of them needing to go to admins or saying, hey, I need this report because I need to see X, Y, and Z, they can do that on the fly. So for example, if I want to see all my customers in the agriculture industry, what I can do is go to my accounts. I can say I want to see the account name. I want to see the territory that they're in, and I'm going to filter it by agriculture industry, and I'm going to filter it by customers instead of prospects. And it's going to bring me a list of what those look like. I can also pivot it into a chart form as well to be able to view it. So there's a lot of powerful abilities as it creates with list views. And again, just allows you and your team to pull data on the fly. I constantly have multiple list views for my pipeline as well, being able to show opportunities that I'm working on. One of the best things that list views allow you to do is unlock inline editing. And inline editing allows you to make mass edits to multiple fields within records without having to click into each record and going in and manually doing it. At the list view, similar to like an Excel spreadsheet, you can see the different fields and you can update them by typing it in and do it at a mass quantity. So it's a really powerful tool, again, not only for visibility purposes on being able to pull things on the fly and creating lists to keep you more organized, but also helping, again, with adoption and data quality, right? You can see the gaps of information. So if you have a data cleanup session, which is very common, right? You learn that, hey, there's all these fields missing from this reporting, and you need your teams to go and update this information. Create a list view for them so they can see those different fields that need to be captured and the necessary information. And within 1 to 2 minutes, they can mass edit and update those records without having to click into each one and just do it within that list view to be able to capture it. So it's a very powerful tool to do that. And again, some of the examples when you're looking for visibility and data at your fingertips on your clients and your prospects, and what's driving your business is show me customers in this industry, show me all my prospects in the same industry, show me accounts and contacts that I haven't engaged with over 45 days, right? To keep everyone honest and on task with what they need to do. And I think one of the biggest challenges with Salesforce is because it is such a powerful database and there is so much information that's being captured. It can be pretty intimidating to have to go in and update all these records and spend so much time updating and making sure the data quality is accurate. And I think in combination with creating and customizing page layouts to identify what information is the most important for the business and reporting purposes, as well as leveraging list views to maybe help update some of that and just give your team the ability to find the information they need without having to submit a request to admins or someone on your team that knows Salesforce the best, right? They can do it within minutes to help them get on and move on to the next task to help clients and help grow the business. So now that we reviewed some tips and tricks to help overcome these main two obstacles, again, adoption and visibility, where do you go now? So, all this information that I share today is really open source information and out there. I broke it down to 3 different categories of how you as a Salesforce client can really support yourself, invest in yourself, and maybe ask for help from a partner. Wanted to break these down into 3 categories. So the first is your Salesforce support team. So your Salesforce account team, as you all know, is really great at asking you to buy licenses and buy add-ons. They can really help share best practices with demos and what they call art of the possible. So as you're looking at different add-ons or different feature sets, they can show you what's possible in Salesforce. And that's what we did a little bit today. We outlined a few different features and targets as it relates to helping with overcoming adoption and visibility obstacles in some cool ways to be able to do that quickly. Salesforce can really help do that well. The challenge is that they just recently started implementing their own technology, and they have what's called jump starts to kind of help implement a new org, a new piece of functionality or technology that you're buying, such as Pardot, such as Service Cloud, and such as Community Cloud to kind of get you up and running. But they can't actually help you get into the org and look at the different page layouts and be there like a consultant can to kind of help you triage and make some immediate changes. You also have the ability to do it yourself. If you're here at this conference, you're obviously familiar with Trailhead. Trailhead is a tremendous resource. All this information about list views, about Einstein activity capture, about driving adoption and visibility and data quality can all be found in Trailhead. There's great modules and topics, but it does take time for you and your team to go ahead and digest that information and review it together. But it is a really good resource for you to do it yourself and enable your team to get trained to be admins, developers, and help with overall issues. It's something that I use daily. One thing that's not in here as it relates to do it yourself is Google is a great resource, because Salesforce is open source. It'll bring up all the relevant articles that are related to any of the issues that you're having or the challenges that you're having, and full outline of documentation of how to get there, which is great too. And the last one is, Salesforce's Certified Partner Network. They really take a consultative view of, understanding your goals, priorities in your business, and take the time to help you either implement an org from scratch and really help you, again, achieve those, overall metrics of, increasing revenue and profitability, right? And help you get there. And again, take a little bit more strategic approach on, getting in the trenches with you to make that possible and help configure it in a way that makes sense for you in the business. Of these different options that you have, I would say that the most efficient and fastest time to value is really working with a partner. However, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be investing in yourself and your team, but a partner can really help you, especially if you're on this journey for the first time, you're new to Salesforce, or you're new to building a team around Salesforce to help improve the data quality and help your company achieve its goals of increasing revenue or becoming more profitable. And one thing to note about partners is that they can either do all the work for you, or they can work in tandem with you as an extension of your team. And some of the benefits as it relates to working with a partner is you got trained experts in Salesforce. Everyone's certified in a specific cloud, specific focus, has a specific concentration of what they're good at. And you can constantly lean on partners to gain insight. When I was at Salesforce as an account executive, I consistently leaned on consultants to get more insights on best practices across industries. So the benefit is that you may have a consultant that you're working with that has worked with a few of your competitors and knows a little bit more about your business, and can maybe help recommend some things that you may not be thinking of as you're looking at modifying your business and translating that into your Salesforce organization. So it's a great way to, again, get to know best tips and practices, and helps get to your value, and helps accelerate the time when you're looking to implement technology to take advantage of, again, growing your revenue or helping improve profitability. So now we're going to review a few case studies. I know we've kind of been through a lot today, so these are all kind of relevant. We're going to maybe talk about a few different obstacles as it relates to Salesforce, and some actionable tips and that we took into kind of help triage some of this and give you some more insight on what that looks like. And the first is, an example of our business as a whole and how we've helped, our parent company, Bitwise Industries, overcome the same adoption and visibility issues that we've been talking to today. And again, we are a business just like anyone else. We experience the same challenges that all companies face. We do want to grow revenue and become more profitable as a business too. That was a part of our hypothesis for partnering with Salesforce in the first place. The only difference is we have a great team of Salesforce experts that we can leverage at our fingertips. And we intended to, eat our own dog food and really put that to the test. What we did is we created a safe space to be able to collect feedback from our users that are leveraging Salesforce, so they can really help them in their day-to-day. We created a custom support ticketing system where any user in Salesforce can ask for help. They can send screenshots of what they're looking at, they can send videos of what they're looking at, and through the case management system that got fed into our team of Salesforce admins, along with Chatter, we were able to begin an immediate dialogue with our Salesforce admins to be able to help each individual user at their time of need. This was a very powerful tool, especially given our remote work style and environment over the last year and a half, where you couldn't no longer go around the table and just poke someone on the back and say, hey, can you help me with this? So it was a really great tool to be able to do this, to be very collaborative. And I just wanted to share some of the insights that we were able to get. And really what it helped drive was just overall awareness of in creating that safe space where an individual user like myself or someone on the team can reach out, create a ticket, take a screenshot of what they're struggling with, what they need help with. If they need reports, they can request those too. But it created awareness from our team internally as we looked at what type of requests were coming in. Was it consistently about reporting? Was it consistently like, I don't know how to find this information? Was it an adoption issue? Like, did they not know functionality existed? So we had that reportable view of what type of cases were coming in. We also gained a understanding of why employees may not have been using Salesforce in the original way that we had in mind. Right? We talked about activity, right? Why is activity and the reporting so skewed? And it was because of the page layout and the way that the information was presented to them, where they didn't know which information was most important from a reporting purposes. So we gained a lot of understanding of the capabilities and really understanding the roles of each individual and what their responsibilities were and what was being asked of them, which is also very important. As again, we talked about page layouts can be specific for each user and for each team, right? So the things that the sales team were experiencing could be different from the customer success team. We took that feedback into consideration and looking at small tweaks that we can make in order to help improve data quality as well as visibility. One of the other effects that it had in our employee group was confidence. I think our employees felt supported regardless of the experience they had in using Salesforce. Some were using Salesforce for the first time. Some used it at a different company, but it looked completely different. And again, empowering our employees to be able to have that safe space and that ability to ask, hey, I need help, or I need help with this area, was very important. It also helped us, take a look at our defined business processes and, take a look at, what was working well, and how is that reflected in Salesforce, and can we do it in a better way? Is that an outdated process? Do we need to update that based on, where we're going as a company? I think that piece is really important. And when I find, Salesforce customers, they adopt it, they use it for the specific business goals and objectives, whether it's revenue or profitability. But as you move along as a company, those priorities change. And doesn't mean that those priorities are no longer important, but you're now looking for another piece of how Salesforce can help impact your business in a different way. Some of the results we had were, a huge jump in user adoption and efficiency of using the platform, helping us, with data quality. People have access to be able to get the visibility they need on the business, and just bringing this back to, revenue and profitability metrics that we kind of reviewed, the success metrics that, Salesforce provided, in terms of how this had helped customers. We saw a huge boost in our productivity. We saw, a huge boost in reliable reporting. and are still on the path now of looking at how do we forecast our pipeline. And now that we have some of the key components of our data as it relates to opportunities and what our sales team is doing, it's getting easier for us to be able to forecast what we're looking to hit, each quarter, each month, and each week. I think some of the effects it has is an increase in employee satisfaction, right? Employees no longer feel lost and they feel like they have a safe place to turn to be able to get help from an expert, to be able to help them. Again, if they're a new user, if they're a seasoned user, just get the information they need so they can be more dangerous in doing their job and helping achieve the goals that you've set for them. The last thing that really I want to leave you all with, and what this really helped with, is really just encouragement. And I think what this did is this encouraged us to look inward of where a team needed the most help in leveraging Salesforce, and if our business processes made sense in the way that we had originally thought it would impact the business. And did that make sense for each business user, or did it only make sense for one part of our business unit of the business? And again, just want to create that encouragement to look inward at what's causing the adoption issues or some of the obstacles that you may be facing, and either working with a partner or going through Trailhead and the Salesforce team to kind of help get the right resources to enable your team to feel a little bit more confident in using technology, because technology can be very daunting. And again, this topic is how to take advantage of Salesforce's technology to help drive and improve your business versus it feeling like it's taking over and consuming your life or consuming your goals and objectives as a business because of obstacles of not being able to get the results and visibility on your business that you need to. Another use case I wanted to review here is something that's really not traditional for Salesforce specifically, but was really important during the pandemic. And it's an example of where we leveraged a website and used Salesforce as the back end to support the website. And I know what you may be thinking, like, what does a website have to do with Salesforce? Well, we built a website during COVID when hundreds of thousands were losing their jobs, and had the opportunity to partner with the state of California to be able to create a resource center for more than 250,000 people to be able to find new jobs if they were displaced, or essential resources like food, shelter, retraining opportunities, and even childcare, so they can get back to work. And we leveraged the powerful platform that Salesforce has to be able to expose that data to make sure that if we were sharing job recs, they were updated in a timely manner. So people that were applying for these jobs wouldn't be applying for a job that was already taken. We had a follow-up process where we were able to follow up with each individual to ensure that they got the right resources, whether it was food and shelter resources in their community, in their area, or whether it was a job in a specific area to kind of help support their family. So it's a great use case that I think is a little bit unique. When again, people think of websites as something completely different from Salesforce, they may connect in some way, but this is truly a great use case where we came together and partnered during a really critical time during a crisis to kind of help create this immense resource center and website for people that it was powered through Salesforce to be able to expose the relevant data as it relates to jobs and the essential resources that people needed. Again, non-traditional use case, but a very powerful way to leverage Salesforce, and one opportunity for you to maybe look at your website and seeing if there's anything that you can leverage Salesforce and the power of its platform to be able to kind of help improve those client experiences. Whether it's through a FAQ page, allowing your customers to find you and get to a sales resource immediately to kind of help get their questions answered. There's a lot of different use cases on how you can plug Salesforce into your website to make it more efficient and more powerful to create a more connected experience for you and your customers. And with that, I just want to thank everyone for the time. I think at this point we'll jump into Q&A. I know we covered a lot here, and it was an adventure of going through what your goals and objectives are as it relates to Salesforce when looking to partner for the first time, or maybe what are your goals and objectives now, as you've been a Salesforce customer for a few years, and some tips and tricks in terms of feature sets that are free to you and your org and your team to be able to use effectively. So with that, I just wanted to open up to Q&A here. I'll give you some time to type out your questions. Well, if you don't have any questions now, you can feel free to reach out to me, over my email here. It's bmadueno@bitwiseindustries.com. I'm happy to share free resources through Trailhead of what helped me kind of put this presentation together. Some statistics on adoption, visibility, anything like that we covered today would be able to help you, use this presentation or use this topic to help you, make more of an impact in your org today, and help you get there to be more actionable to achieve your goals and success. So again, we'll leave it open here for a few minutes to ask any questions. All right, well, if there's no questions, I just want to say thank you again, everyone, for the time. I appreciate the CenCal Dreamin team for having me here to be able to speak. And, best of luck to all the Salesforce customers out there. There's a lot of great resources for you. So if you feel, troubled or frustrated with, how your team is leveraging Salesforce, there's help out there and there's help in the ecosystem for you.